Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of All About the W. We are back with another Euros preview episode. This is going to be a final preview because we are going to be talking about Group D, which is England, France, Netherlands, and Wales. It's been dubbed the Group of Death. But before we get started, just a reminder to all of you lovely folks out there to like our videos, subscribe to our channel, leave some comments. What do you think about Group D? And do you think if it's a group of death, etc., etc.? But Ash, let's get started. Obviously, some big guns in this group. A potential winner, who knows? We have two Euros winning teams as well, like recent Euros winning teams in England and Netherlands. What do you make of this group?
So obviously, this is the most high-profile group in the Euros because of the three heavyweights. And there's also poor Wales who might need therapy after this tournament. Let's go fund me for the Welsh therapy there. But I genuinely feel like there's just too much hype around this group, being like, oh, group of death, group of death, group of death. I don't feel like all four teams in this group are evenly matched because of the presence of Wales. And so, like, for me, while it is a really competitive group because of these three big heavyweights that we have in England and France and Netherlands, I still don't see it as the group of death. A group of death for me is like four teams where anyone can win.
Yeah.
Uh, so, I just feel like because it's England, people make a bigger deal out of it than it is.
And I feel like we consume a lot of English media, so
Yeah.
and we watch the WSL, so obviously English like fans are in our ears a lot, I suppose.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, let's talk a little bit about England. Let's start with England. Where are they at?
So obviously they're the defending champions, and they'll have to do much defending of their title in this tournament, considering the form of some of these other teams, but also with the drop off of form that England have seen. I think, they had a convincing 6-0 win against Portugal in the Nations League, but it was sandwiched sort of like between defeats by Belgium and Spain. And although they did beat Spain in February, it was like a marginal 1-0. It's like the basic formula to beat Spain, right? You score and then you don't do anything the rest of the game. Um, it's just one of those things. Like I reckon that's how Serena Wiegman intends to get through this entire tournament by like stinking up the place and clinching those slim margin victories. But hey, it's like it's a knockout tournament, right? So you do what works for you. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's definitely like a knockout tournament expert in that sense. Obviously, she's
Yeah.
won a lot of silverware. But who do you think are going to be key for England for a good Euros run?
Okay, so this is obviously the team we're most familiar with in the WSL, right? There's been a few bad updates with Millie Bright's knee surgery as well as some mental health concerns. And, we early on got the news that Mary Earps is retiring, but she was already playing second fiddle. So I don't think that it's that big of a travesty. I reckon, for me personally, this is the tournament Lauren Hemp steps up in. Like, I need her to be the creative spark in this boring AF team. Like, somebody has to make them watchable. There's also like the fact that Leah Williamson is captain, and she's fresh off her Champions League victory. So her confidence in herself as a leader probably is really high. And the way that Serena sets up suits defenders, it makes it
Yeah.
much easier to defend. So I reckon that she probably have a good tournament as long
Yeah.
as she gets out of the group.
Yeah, I think I'm really curious to see the Williamson, and I'm guessing it's going to be Alex Greenwood, because I feel like England have played without a left-footed player in defense for quite some time. Like obviously Greenwood comes in and goes out, but apart from her, there's no other left-footed player. And obviously with Millie Bright out, I suppose Wiegman is going to start Greenwood. I'm really interested to see how that centre back pairing works out. But also, I'm sorry, how on earth are you not talking about Lauren James? Have you forgotten
Listen,
about her existence?
Lauren James has to. I have no faith in Lauren James. Not like getting injured in a. Let me finish my sentence.
Yeah,
Not getting injured in some practice match, training session, something, something, and then being out for 4 months. Okay,
that
I
is
have
true. That is
no faith that Lauren James starts all these games, let alone as a player to watch out for. I love
true.
Lauren James.
Yeah.
I think she's immensely talented, but the fact that she will be available to play these games is a big question mark always.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I'm honestly really curious to see whether, like, I mean, she's obviously been training and stuff, but I'm curious to see how Serena goes. Like as a manager, do you start Lauren James in these matches, or do you? I mean, the reality is that England are stuck in a really tough group, so they need everything they can get. But I'm really curious to see like how much she plays and whether she starts, she comes off the bench. Like because having watched Lauren James for quite some time, like I personally think she's really terrible when she comes off the bench. I don't know. She just looks really bad. Like it's just my personal opinion. But anyway, yeah, a fit Lauren James, yes. Um, but yeah, all right. So that's enough about England. Let's move on to France. Like a team that I don't know. Like yeah, again, like some teams for some teams, like major tournaments are their thing, like Sweden, and then you have some teams like France that just. I mean, like I remember in the World Cup. Like who was it? I think Kenza Dali, I think it was, had to take like two penalties because Mackenzie Arnold came off her line too quickly the first time, and she like missed her second penalty as well. Like like that is France basically. So tell like where like how do you think they've been faring leading up to the tournament?
I mean, on paper, they are one of the best squads. Okay, I mean this could definitely be their year on paper, but France have never managed to reach a final. Like not in the Euros, not in the World Cup. So perennial bottlers.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for what it's worth, they qualified for the Euro as group leaders, but they did suffer defeats against England and Republic of Ireland during that campaign. So yeah, bottlers galore. However, so they arrive in Switzerland having won all six of their Nation League matches this year, conceding just 2 goals. So,
Wow.
like, when you only concede 2 goals, 6 games, won all of them, I would have them down as favorites for the whole thing. But just
Wait,
because it's France, you can't do that.
was the France Nations League group the one with Iceland and Norway? Wasn't
I
that
think
the
it.
group?
I think it was, yeah.
Okay, okay. I am not gonna read into that at all. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
but hey, come on. Like you can beat what's in front of you,
Yeah, that's true.
okay?
That's true. That's true. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. So
Respect to
yeah.
France. All right. Um, Again, like another team that has like quite a few WSL players, mostly in Chelsea. I think. I feel like Sonia came from France and brought a bunch of French people with her. But
Yeah.
yeah, key players for France. Who do you think?
I mean, I think everyone knows my favorite French player is Sandy Baltimore. I even fought really hard for her to be on our WSL team of the season. I am surprised by how hard I had to fight against a Chelsea fan.
Yeah,
she's she's just so talented and she can play anywhere on that flank. Like she can play fullback, winger, wingback, you name it. Like she can play it. Although she plays winger for France.
yeah,
But the clutch player for France, I think, will be Diani, who is just like living her best life at 30. Like she has 10 goals and 6 assists for Lyon. So, and she does not look pace wise that she is 30.
yeah,
So definitely, I think Diani is the game changer for me in the French
yeah.
team.
I think I'm really intrigued to see how France do, especially because of some of the decisions that the manager has made in terms of the selection. He's left out some basically like the most experienced players in France in Wendy Renard, Eugenie Le Sommet, and Kenza Dali. And like Kenza Dali is, I don't know, I saw, was it a tweet or a statement that she put out saying, I will tell you what happened after the tournament ends. Come to me, or is there's an embargo on a piece?
Yeah.
The moment somebody lifts the trophy, that hits the papers. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's a big statement from the manager. I feel like yeah, I mean, if France do poorly, then he goes on the chopping block. I mean, maybe not literally, because I mean, not literally, definitely, but also like I don't think his job is gonna be on the line even if they do badly. But yeah, I feel like maybe maybe a change of yeah, change of energy is what they need to not bottle. Who knows? Maybe that's what
Yeah.
the manager is banking on.
I mean, if they don't make it out of the group, then I do think maybe his job is at stake. Like, if they do badly after that, maybe not. But like, not making it out of your group might be sackable.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so that's France. Netherlands next. I think I'm gonna watch France versus Netherlands. I'm not sure. Anyway, Netherlands. Obviously, they've won the Euros recently, the 2017 one. A team that is just yeah. Like I don't know. They have a lot of talent, but like one thing that I'm really worried about with Netherlands is that the manager has said that he's going to leave after the Euros, which I don't know. I feel like that can go one of two ways. Like if you're like the kind of manager who your players like really play for, uh, like they'd be like, oh, you know what, one last hurrah type of thing. But Yonker does not seem like one of those managers.
Yeah.
So I have a strong feeling that that actually might affect the squad negatively. But what do you think about Netherlands and their road leading up to the Euros?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, you worry about the fact that will players play for a manager they know is leaving. It's just one of those things. But I would say this: like Netherlands, they won only two of their qualifying matches, but they finished level on points with Italy. And what really stood out for me is that while they only scored 4 goals, they were really solid at the back. They only let in 4 goals at the back, so in the
Hmm.
qualifiers. So I feel like there is definitely something there. Like, if they can, if you in a group like this, if you're solid at the back, and you can just score like 1 goal somewhere, you can easily like against a team like England or something, if they run out of ideas, you can definitely get an upset, it's totally possible. So I can see them being the spoilers in this group. So their Nations League, I don't know how much this you would put in the Nations League, like in terms of how much you would consider the Nations League form in terms
Yeah.
of our analysis, but like it wasn't what they were hoping for. Like 5 weeks before the Euros, they had a 1-1 draw with Scotland after Germany thrashed them like 4-0.
Yeah.
And this is like in May. So yeah, Netherlands, they had a pretty bad Nations League.
Yeah.
I still think there's enough potential there to be spoilers in this group for sure.
Yeah. Tell us about their important players.
Okay, so obviously their most high-profile, experienced player is Viv Miedema. She hasn't had the best season, I would say, but that might have also been due to Man City's upheaval. But they have so much attacking talent. Like, there's Esme Brutes from Barca, there's VK Captain in midfield, who slowly started to come into her own at Chelsea, I think.
Yeah.
Plus, they have their captain, Sherida Spitze, who has a
Yeah.
lot of experience in defense, which is why I think their defense is going to win them
Hmm.
through. I was going to say win them this tournament. I meant get them through the group.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm actually wondering if Spitzer will actually start games, because I feel like in the recent games they've been playing a back three of um well, there's been Burman, there's been Janssen, and
But
there's
in
been
the Nations League,
Williams.
they did in some of these Nations League games. has
I
been playing.
see.
So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, but definitely like a very important person in that dressing room for sure. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see, like, having Midama in the squad is like a big call. Like, you don't know how fit she is,
yeah,
but yeah, you Midama on one leg, you'll probably want her in your team.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I am personally not too hopeful about Netherlands. It's although it's one of, I mean, precisely because it's one of the teams I support. uh, so that is the good old Kai pessimism coming in. But Ash, let's wrap up with Wales, shall we? Obviously, their first major tournament. It's I feel like, I loved watching the celebrations around Wales qualifying for the Euros. Like, you have some absolute veterans in that squad, and
Yeah,
Sophie Ingle and Jess Fishlock, who've just been around forever, and just the
yeah.
fact that, like, they get to represent their country, um, like at a major tournament, it's just something that warms my heart. So let's see. Tell me about Wales and the Euros.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't follow Wales that well. I don't know much about them, but Wales is really important to this group because like this entire group hinges on Wales' performance. So because the pressure is on the team that drops points against Wales. So if Wales can like pull off like an upset here or a draw somewhere else, the team that they've upsetted or drawn with uh, kind of kind of are then like in danger of not qualifying. So, and my hope is because of the Welsh and English connection. My hope is that that is England, that team is
That would be
England.
really fun. Yeah.
Just
So
for the
what
Welsh fans.
so what you're saying is, like, Wales's first major tournament is not about them but about everybody else around
Yeah.
them. Wow.
Yeah.
Way to root for the underdog.
Yeah. Okay, in my defense, like I know we're not counting Nations League as much, but like they have been really bad in their Nation League campaign. Okay, so like to be fair, they were in a hard group, so they've struggled. So like they had Sweden and Denmark and Italy, okay, in their group. To be fair, they did earn two encouraging draws against Sweden, but that's on Sweden. That's not really on Wales. But they lost to Italy and Denmark in their final two group games, and the Italy defeat was just like really embarrassing. It was 4-1, but it could honestly have been more.
Yeah.
So, this group, I think, has been the most interesting Nations League group. To be fair, the Denmark, Italy, Sweden group. So I feel bad for Wales that again they are in the most interesting group with France and England and Netherlands. So they just have like a really unlucky, like draw all the time. Somebody needs to like do anti voodoo jinx things for Wales.
Yeah. Bad juju. All right. Key players for Wales.
Okay, so they have two players from Seattle Rain. Like you mentioned, there's Jess Fishlock in attack on left wing, and there's their captain Angara James in midfield. There's also from our WSL. There's also Haley Ladd. So their defense will be key, and they'll need experienced players like Ladd and James to sort of pull them over the line because I reckon that they'll sit really deep. And so it's all going to be down to experience when it comes to playing against some of these bigger teams.
Yeah. Yeah, I really hope Wales take points off of like a couple of teams. Even if they stink up the pitch, even if they like
Yeah,
have
yeah, for sure.
everyone behind the ball and just like defend the box. Like, I'm excited for Wales. All right, I think let's wrap up this episode with predictions for who makes out of this group, makes it out of this group.
I mean, personally, I have to go with England and France. I don't see, like, just on the basis of form, I don't see Netherlands upsetting them. But if it happens, I will not be upset. Not, maybe not with France, but if England gets upsetted, I will not be upset at all.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be, you know what? I predict that and France get out of this group. I feel like England are not going to. I don't know. There's just too much chaos around the camp. Who knows? Just bad vibes all around. I don't know. At least like I'm fully eating up whatever the media is giving me.
I
So
feel like it's just there's too much made of it because qualitatively, just the players in the England squad uh, are just as a 15 selected for a game. I think they
yeah.
get through most games. So.
Yeah, I agree. But I still feel like it's going to be Netherlands and France who make it out of the group. That would be fun. All right, so that brings us to the end of our Euros group previews. A reminder uh, to everyone out there to subscribe to our channel, to like our videos. We will be putting out some messages on our channel regarding what our plans are for live stream for all the Euros matches and how we're going to be reviewing the games and maybe some other exciting content because a certain someone might be going to Switzerland as well. All right. Anyway, yeah, I think that just about wraps it up, guys. We will see you on the other side. Bye bye.
Bye bye.